Hello, friends. So, for several years now, I've been going to conferences on consciousness. So, there's a conference called Science of Consciousness. There's a conference called Science of Consciousness, hosted by Stuart Hameroff and his colleague Sir Roger Penrose, Nobel laureate. And of course, includes luminaries such as David Chalmers, who coined the phrase hard problem of consciousness. So that's one conference I go to frequently every year. Another conference that I go to every year is Science and Non-Duality. And then occasionally I go to a consciousness conference at Yale. And I find, of course, everybody is talking about the various interpretations of reality. Is consciousness fundamental? Is mind fundamental? Matter only monism, mind only monism, idealism, and dualism and panpsychism. These are the various terms that are thrown about in these conferences. And I find there's a lot of confusion between what is Advaita Vedanta or non-duality, which I am a proponent of, and then all these other philosophies. Monism. What is monism? Monism is simply the idea that that implies a unity of substance. A unity of substance. So there's matter only monism. Everything is matter. Okay. There's mind only monism, which is frequently referred to as idealism. There is dualism, which means mind and matter are two separate things. There's panpsychism, which attributes consciousness to all entities. None of these, except for Advaita Vedanta or non-duality, is my position. Okay? None of these. So matter-only monism doesn't work, doesn't explain mind. Mind-only monism doesn't explain matter. Idealism is similar to mind-only monism. It's all ideas projecting themselves. And then there's what you call panpsychism, which attributes consciousness to every entity, from subatomic particles to the forces of nature, etc., etc. All these philosophies have problems in that they cannot explain fundamental reality. So the position I've taken always is Advaita Vedanta. And in Advaita Vedanta emphasizes the singularity of consciousness. I'll repeat. Advaita Vedanta, or non-duality, emphasizes the singularity of consciousness, contrasting it with monism, which implies a unity of substance, and idealism, which posits reality as mental. It also differs from panpsychism, which attributes consciousness to all entities. So, according to Advaita Vedanta, consciousness is the matrix that manifests as the appearance of the universe. Consciousness, the matrix. And consciousness, being formless, having no borders, is infinite, spaceless, timeless, irreducible, fundamental, incomprehensible, and infinite. And its projections are a cosmic illusion. Maya is the cosmic illusion. You don't have to call it an illusion if you don't like the word, because we are embedded in it. It's our experience anyway. Our body-mind is part of the illusion, as I've said many times. You don't have to call it as illusion. You could call it a movie. or you can call it fluctuations, vibrations, etc. But in Advaita Vedanta, the word is used, Maya. And Maya is the cosmic illusion that veils the true nature of reality, which in non-dual and traditions is called Brahman. Brahman is the non-dual reality. Brahmand, the cosmic illusion, is what Brahman appears as. So the illusion makes the one non-dual Brahman appear as the multiplicity of the universe, leading individuals, human individuals like you and me, to perceive duality where there is none. Maya is not merely an error, but a powerful force that projects the manifold universe and veils the true nature of Brahman. Okay, so Maya is the veil. The veil. Going back to Rumi, this here is not the real reality. The real reality is behind the curtain, behind the veil. In truth, we are not here. This is our shadow. Okay. So Maya is not merely an error, but a powerful force that projects the manifold universe and veils the true nature of Brahman. Maya is often confused with avidya, ignorance, ignorance, which means you ignore the totality for the particular. It is often confused with avidya or ignorance, but they are distinct concepts. Maya is the ontological category, ontic reality, the fundamental reality, the real projection power of Brahman, while avidya is the epistemic error of an individual, jiva, frequently translated as the soul, that causes the misperception of reality. I'll repeat this, very important. See, ontology deals with the fundamental nature of reality or being or existence. So Maya is the ontic category, the real projection power of Brahman. It's the ontic reality. While avidya is the epistemic error. Epistic means that which has to do with modes of knowing and experience and the limitations of our mental, cognitive, and perceptual capacities. So avidya is the epistemic error of an individual, jiva, the soul, that causes the misperception of reality. Avidya leads to illusion. Avidya leads, so the ignorance, avidya, leads to the illusion that the universe is separate from Brahman, thereby creating the sense of duality. And in the spiritual traditions of Advaita, the realization of non-duality, Advaita, realization, knowing, realizing, requires the removal of avidya. Avidya means ignorance. When avidya is dispelled through knowledge, which is also called gyan, and there's a word for this form of liberation, gyan yoga, the yoga of the intellect or the yoga of knowledge. So when avidya is dispelled through knowledge or gyan yoga, the true nature of Brahman is revealed and the illusion of Maya is seen for what it is, an apparent reality with no ultimate substance. This leads to moksha or liberation, where one understands that the self of the individual, Atman, is not separate from Brahman. So your true self is not separate from the divine field of irreducible consciousness that projects as the appearance of the universe. So, in practical terms, Maya explains why individuals experience the world as a series of dualities: subject, object, self, other. The teachings of Advaita Vedanta aim to guide practitioners to see beyond these illusions through practices like meditation, discernment, which is called vivek, and dispassion, which is non-attachment. Non-attachment. Vairagya is called. So meditation, dhyan, discrimination or discernment, viveka, and dispassion, non-attachment, witnessing awareness. By understanding and experiencing the non-dual nature of reality, one transcends the illusions created by Maya, or by the soul, by the conditioned soul, jiva. Maya in Advaita Vedanta is a fundamental concept that explains the apparent multiplicity of the universe and the perceived duality. It is through the understanding and overcoming of Maya that one can realize the non-dual nature of Brahman, leading to liberation from suffering, which is due to ignorance, and ultimately transcending this recycling of Avidya Maya, which is called the recycling of birth and death or reincarnation, as this entity, which is part of the Maya, because the true entity is you. You are the infinite being projecting the display of the movie, the appearance of form and phenomena as the play of consciousness. So I hope this clarifies that non-duality is not monism, it is not panpsychism, it is not idealism, and it is not dualism. It is the fundamental, irreducible, incomprehensible, infinite, causeless, spaceless, timeless, unimaginable, borderless awareness that modifies itself into all forms and phenomena, including the forms and phenomena that we call animals, bacteria, rocks, stars, moon, sun, sky, and the infinite display of the universe. Well, I hope that clarifies everything. And you can engage with me by going to digitaldeepak.ai. That's my digital twin. And we can together explore reality. Also note, Digital Dharma can help you use prompts to improve your personal well-being and elevate your spiritual intelligence. Thank you, friends.